What's good, everybody? It's your boy TJ, and today is finally the day. Last night, the wife and I, we went to a screening for Eternals, and I am now about to give my spoiler-free, so no spoilers, Eternals review. So as of this morning, which I believe is November 4th, because it's a Thursday, the Eternals Rotten Tomatoes score is 54%. That makes Eternals the lowest MCU score on all of Rotten Tomatoes. Yes, even worse than Thor: The Dark World. But it is my job to tell you how I feel about the movie, and I liked it a lot. You know, it's not perfect. It's definitely not perfect, but I liked it. The wife liked it. I remember, after the movie was done, we looked at each other and we said, yo, this movie's pretty dope. You gotta remember though, it's not Rotten Tomatoes who is giving the percentage score. It is an average of all the critics that are approved by Rotten Tomatoes, and they combine all the reviews, and from there, they get their average. This isn't your typical MCU movie, so I feel like if you walk into Eternals knowing that might be a little better for you. And I know that every MCU movie is different. Ant-Man is a heist film, Guardians is a space opera, Winter Soldier is a spy movie, but they are all MCU to the core. This feels more like a Chloe Zhao movie, and it's like they gave her a huge budget and she made a really big art house type film. It seems like Kevin Feige, just let Chloe Zhao make the movie that she wanted. She is an Academy Award winning director. And after this movie, it definitely felt like they were going for Best Picture. Also, with this movie, the MCU, Marvel Studios, has taken so many risks. First of all, look at the cast. It's so diverse, so many different people of so many different ethnic backgrounds. It's awesome that there are going to be so many moviegoers, so many MCU fans that drive to go to the theaters to watch this movie, and they're going to relate. And that's really what it's all about. You know what I mean? Like, you want to go to the theaters and you want to relate to what you're watching. There are a lot of MCU firsts in Eternals. You got your first sex scene. You got your first openly gay MCU hero with your first gay kiss. You got your first deaf MCU hero. Like, this movie, the chances and the risk that it took is fucking amazing. And I respect Chloe and Kevin Feige for doing this. It sucks that, the critic score isn't as good, but you know what? It don't even matter, because there are going to be so many people that watch this movie that relate and enjoy it. So when it comes to the cast, Gemma Chan as Cersei is your main character, and she does great. I do wish that there was a little bit more, but she is the heart and soul of the movie. For a movie that is just introducing us to so many characters, I think they did such a great job. Every character served his or her purpose. The standouts to me, I loved Kingo and I loved Druig. Kumail Nanjiani, I hope I didn't butcher the name, but a lot of the scenes that he was in, I was laughing myself. So I think he did a great job. He may be the standout for most people because every scene he's in, he is stealing that scene. You also got Selma Hayek and Angelina Jolie. They do perfect in their roles. For as big and like megastars as they are, they really do help the cast shine. And, I'm pretty sure they did cast them so that way more people would watch it, because it's an MCU film, but you want to see people that you know. So in a way, it's like Marvel casted them for, smaller roles so people could pay the ticket so they could see everybody else. Genius. Visually, the movie is stunning. It looks so beautiful. Every shot was well done. And speaking of visuals and the Celestials, they look amazing. They are so large and, scaled. They make the earth look like it's a marble. I've seen Celestials in comics my whole life, and I can't even begin to tell you how happy I am and how excited I am to see what they do with the future of the MCU. Because of course, there is also a very known villain who happens to be a Celestial. So I am just excited for the future of the MCU, especially the cosmic portion of the MCU. That's always been my favorite. This movie will time jump throughout all of mankind, because the Eternals were here since the beginning. They explained why they didn't help us during all the actual world wars, or, when Thanos came. They do a pretty good job explaining that, even though the whole idea with Thanos I don't really agree with, because it is said that the Eternals are not allowed to interfere unless deviants are involved, and Thanos has a deviant gene. Whatever. I've seen some critics that said they didn't emotionally, connect with the Eternals, with the characters individually. For me, I did, and it really felt like they were a close-knit family, and I really felt that dynamic. You know, I cared about the choices that they made, which is really just kudos to the actors and actresses that are playing the Eternals. Okay, so let's talk about some of the things that maybe I didn't like so much. First things first, this movie is low-key kind of long, 2 hours and 45 minutes. It didn't feel too long, but there are some things that I would have replaced and added, you know, maybe a little more attention to certain other things. I can't get into it. This is a non-spoiler review. But yes, so if you are watching this movie in the evening, I mean, shit, that's gonna be about like 3 hours. So be prepared for that. Second, the villain. I know Marvel is known for not having the best villains, at least early Marvel. Lately, they've been pretty good. This movie does suffer from that problem, which thus makes the final battle a little anticlimactic. There was a swerve though right before that final battle, which was done phenomenally, and you know, I was a fan of. They did it well, but it's just the actual final battle, or you know, the main objective that they're doing, it was kind of weak. I wouldn't compare Eternals to other MCU movies because I feel like that wouldn't be fair because they're completely different. This movie is more like in lines with a movie like Dune. You know, there are action sequences, but this is more about the character growth, character development. And I feel like if you walk into this movie, you know, expecting a drama with a really big budget, you might enjoy the movie a little bit more. One thing too, it did kind of remind me of like Zack Snyder's Justice League, just because the powers and like the skill set of each Eternal, you know, it was almost like the Justice League. Like you got Flash, you got Superman. So I couldn't help but get that out of my mind. And hell, this movie, like low-key even fits more into that Justice League vibe more than the MCU. But yeah, I am so thankful that I liked Eternals. I enjoyed it a lot. If I had to give it a score out of 10, I'm going 8 out of 10. Also, the end credit scenes. I'm not going to spoil them. There are 2 of them. And well, yeah, one was already spoiled. I will say, even though it was spoiled, I still started clapping and I was hyped. And that second one was just as important. So yeah, overall, I recommend this movie. I think you should go watch it, especially like we've seen it in IMAX, so see it on the biggest screen possible. You know, as always, don't forget, subscribe to this channel, like this video, and thank you for watching. I'll catch you next time.